Hello everyone! Welcome to my speed paint of, well, it's not a speed paint. Well, okay, I did speed it up, but it's more like a draw with me because it's not as sped up. It's just, the reference was two girls sitting on a rail, kind of. As you can see, I mean, it's in the video, but yeah, so I changed up the second girl's position because I want it to be a bit different from the reference, like have different levels going on, like of height. Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoy these longer videos. Trying to get that watch time up, but also some things I just have a lot to say about, but it is kind of hard to think of topics. I don't know. So if you have something, please let me know. I was watching some YouTubers like Sugar and Blue. Their video was interesting. They like blew up out of nowhere and they were shook and they're doing their best, and I think they're pretty cool people. So yeah, so the topic I chose for today was school. Very exciting. Everyone loves school. Yeah. So I want to talk about like my experiences growing up as a child of immigrants and going to school. So from before kindergarten even to all the way until now, where I'm in my last year of university. I hope it's my last year. Anyways. So for school, I went to ESL classes, actually, English second language classes, because English wasn't my first language, technically. Like, I was born in Canada, but my parents didn't speak any English at the time, so I had to learn English. I don't remember much from ESL, so there's that. I remember it being fun, and I think I got lice a few times. I got lice like, maybe not even exaggerating, maybe like 10 times minimum during my time in elementary school, and even once in high school. I got it from this girl who had so much lice, like you can see it crawling on her head, but I didn't even like notice until like after I was like taking bathroom breaks just to go in and fiercely scratch my head until it bled. Like, I don't know. Anyways, TMI. So anyways, after ESL, I went to kindergarten. It was a Catholic kindergarten, or a Catholic school. And I remember the teacher, I remember the kids, I remember writing like letters to Santa and stuff, and making little Jesus like stuff. I don't know how to call it, like little crafts. Yeah, but I think I got bullied, but I don't remember, like I didn't know I was being bullied, so it didn't affect me. Like, I was kind of chubby when I was little, so they'd be like, haha, you're pregnant, when I was literally like 4 years old. I didn't even know what that entailed, but I was like, aha, it's joke's on you, I love kids, I would love a friend, as in like the baby would become my friend, and not that I'm its mom or something. Yeah, there was a girl called Brittany, actually, and she was very mean to me. And kids made fun of me for being hairy, like on my arms. So throughout elementary school, I would always wear long sleeves, even in the summer and it was blazing hot, like 30 degrees Celsius. So that wasn't cool. And my mustache. Kids I had like a mustache and kids thought I was so like ugly for it. And like a unibrow. Just very hairy in general. So I actually had to move in the middle of kindergarten. So we moved to another Catholic school. It's because we moved houses. And it was okay. Like, it was a lot better than the first one where the kids were making fun of me. In this one, they were very nice. Like, 2 girls sat next to me right immediately as I walked in. And I sat down, and they sat next to me, and they were like, "Hey, let's be sisters." So that was nice of them. Their names were Chloe and Carly. I don't know why I'm giving you guys these names as if you know them, but yeah, they were okay. I remember not understanding a lot of things and forgetting things. My theory is I had or have, I don't know, undiagnosed something because I wouldn't understand like social cues, or maybe my English wasn't the best yet, but I'd always forget things. Like, I'd have to bring my school agenda to class every day signed by my parents, but I'd always forget to even bring my agenda, and the teacher would get mad at me. And it's like, why would you get mad at me, bro? Like, I'm like 4 years old. What the heck do I know? I'm literally just vibing. I just came out the womb, and you're getting mad at me. Anyways. And in first grade, first of all, I needed to pee. So I was like, "Miss, I need to pee." Or, yeah, I said pee. No, poo. And then she was like, "Okay, don't say that. Like, be like, I have to go to the washroom." And I'd always say, "What? What?" Like, when I couldn't hear someone. And then my teacher was like, "Don't say that. Say pardon." And now I always say pardon, to the point that my American boyfriend is like, you know, the first time he heard it, he was confused. Like, pardon what? What does, like, I don't know. It was just weird to him. But it's pretty common for Canadians to say pardon. But anyways, so one time in first grade, I needed to pee really badly. But the teacher was very mean and was like, "You cannot go to the bathroom. That's what breaks are for, like lunch breaks." Like, as if I'm working and getting paid for this. I can't even go pee. Anyways, she didn't let us pee, and I really had to pee. So I just peed my pants in the chair. And I didn't tell anyone until I was like walking like a penguin, and then they were like, "Hey, did you pee or something?" And they checked my chair. But like, no one made fun of me for it. I don't know why. Like, it wasn't like, "Haha, she's the pee girl." It was just like, I don't know, I guess no one really cared. I don't know, maybe everyone else was peeing their pants too. That's why they didn't care. That same teacher, it was parent-teacher night, and apparently she waited like an hour or something for my parents to come, but my parents weren't coming because obviously they didn't understand English at the time, so they didn't know that it was sent home that they had to come in. And also they were working like really hard because they were both like, you know, immigrants, and they have to make money, and We were just kids. I don't know what the heck, like, what's so important you have to tell my parents when I'm 4. Like, I didn't kill anyone or anything. I just peed. But yeah, she was really angry at me for my parents not coming. Like, you should have told them. Like, she was like yelling at me. And again, I'm like 4, barely understanding English, just sitting there crying. Yeah. She was very mean. Her name was Miss Payne until she got married and changed her name. But it's just crazy to me that her name was Miss Payne. Like, what a horrible name for a first grade teacher. And then in 2nd grade, the teacher was very nice. But I remember one time I was walking and then she stepped on my shoelace and then I fell on the floor like face flat. And then she yelled at me even though I like was hurt. Her first reaction wasn't like, "Hey, are you okay?" It was, "What? You should have tied your shoelaces. What's wrong with you?" Or something like that. Like, I just remember her yelling. But otherwise, she was nice. I also, well, I don't know. There's side characters, but they're not that important. And then in 3rd grade, I had this enemy. Her name was Elizabeth. She hated my guts and I hated her guts. And we'd always like fight and like spit on each other and stuff. Like, it was really nasty. Until like we somehow became best friends. We both collectively do not remember how that happened. It was very confusing, but we ended up becoming best friends for like a long time. Until she showed her butt to my brothers. She was shoving her butt in front of their faces. And then my mom was like, she cannot come back. I don't know why she was doing that. I saw her butthole. It wasn't like a sexual thing. It was like a haha, look at my butt. But still, it was really weird. So she never came back. Anyways, let's see, 4th grade, I had a very, very, very nice teacher. Her name was Miss Speech. I always have dreams about her. I don't know why. Or was that 3rd grade? I don't know. I remember being put in a grade 3-4 split class because there were too many students or something, and I was one of the smarter kids, so they put me in the higher class. Anyways, so Miss Speech was super nice. I still have dreams about her just being nice to me. I remember this one kid knocked over my textbook, and then I started crying, and then I told her, and then I started bawling crying again, and then she hugged me, and she's like, "Oh, it's okay." Like, she probably thought it was really cute that I was crying about something so dumb. And then in 5th grade, I think the teacher was Miss Sims. I don't know. But she was very nice as well. That's all I have to say about that. But then after, so this is all still in Catholic school. So we had to go to church like once at least a week, basically, during school hours, and we'd have a religion class where we learned about religion. Or not religion, we literally just learned about Christianity. But yeah, we'd go to church and it was the most boring thing ever, like forcing like 6 and 7-year-olds to like sit somewhere for 2 hours while some guy talked about nonsense. Like, it didn't matter if you weren't religious. Obviously, you're going to a Catholic school, so you were forced to like be there and learn. And I also got my communion in 2nd grade, which is like a second baptism kind of thing. And I also got my communion in 4th grade, so I got 2 communions. So that was like essentially my like 3rd time being baptized or whatever. I mean, not baptized as in I was dunked in the water, but like the priest did some sort of weird spell on me. And then I was like good to go and eat the bread of Jesus's body or whatever. I don't know, I'm not religious anymore and I forget most of their teachings, so obviously they didn't do a good job. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe they did and I just forgot. But I remember being the priest's favorite kid. Like, he loved me because I asked so many questions. Like, I remember asking, hey, priest, like, where does the, or what, father, where does the pens go when you lose them? Like, does God or Jesus take it? And then he laughed and he was like, I don't know. Like, I wish I knew. Yeah. And I remember we had wreaths, like evergreen wreaths, where there were candles. I think it was 3 purple candles and 1 pink candle. And we'd light one every week. I don't remember if it was for Lent or for Christmas. I think it was for Christmas. Oh, also, I was Mary in the school play, but we didn't do auditions. They just did it based off of looks. They're like, okay, we're gonna choose who everyone is based off looks. And I was Mary. I was like, yes, I got like a important part in the school play. As if I did anything to like get that. And the kid I liked was Jesus. So I was happy. I mean, I had a crush on him. It wasn't anything serious. You know, how kids have crushes and stuff. But yeah, so from 5th grade to 6th grade, they actually changed schools. So my school merged with another school, and they built us a new school. It was very big, super new, super cool. Yeah, and that's where I went for 6th grade. It was still the Catholic school with all my same classmates, but we had a bunch of new classmates. I don't remember much from grade 7 and 8. Or no, sorry, not 7 and 8, grade 6. I just remember there being a new school. And when I had to move away, I was crying a lot because I was sad. Like, move away from grade 6 to 7th grade because we moved again to a public school. And I was like, oh no, all my friends. And I cried a lot. But yeah, so in 7th and 8th grade, I went to a public school. It was within walking distance. When I first got to public school in grade 7, I don't know, I was like bullied, but I hate saying this, I think it was because I was pretty, so they bullied me. Like, the guys would like be mean to me because they liked me. A stupid idea, but I think that's what they did. And I ended up being like the smartest kid in that class because like from grade 7 and 8, and I was the valedictorian in grade 8 graduating into high school because I had like not much competition actually. Not like everyone was dumb, but like I guess, I don't know, Catholic school gave me an advantage. They taught more even though it seemed like they taught less because we were so busy studying religion and wasting our time one day of the week in church. But yeah. The teacher in grade 7 was Mr. Smith. I feel really bad for him. Everyone hated him. Man didn't do anything, always had pit stains, very stressed, and I feel like he went home and cried about our class because of how horrible it was. I really hope I'm not that kind of teacher. Like, nothing against him, but I want to be a teacher that the kids like. And don't make cry, because it's very easy to make me cry. So yeah, grade 7, I had to make a bunch of new friends. I made a friend called Tran, and she's still my friend. She's very nice. Yeah, I don't know. And then grade 8 was interesting. We watched movies all day. Like the teacher would just put on movies and we'd watch them. That's how I know so many movies, like old movies, just because we were forced to watch them, and random facts about the Beatles because he loved the Beatles. And we also did like a unit on Bigfoot. He's not real, but we were forced to do a unit on him, like, is he real? And like we watched videos of it and like studies. And we had to write like a little essay or whatever. Oh yeah, and in 8th grade, we had to write a biography or autobiography. I don't know, the one where you write about yourself. So I wish I could find that. Like, it must have been interesting. I don't know what the heck I wrote, but I remember it being 8 pages long and in size like 6 font. The teacher was literally like, "Oh my god, I need to use like a magnifying glass for this," because I didn't want to go over the page limit. But I was like, haha, if I make the font smaller, I won't go over the page limit. I don't know what email I used for it, so I can't find it. So that was 8th grade. Some of the movies were really sad too. There was like a bunch of movies where like the girl had cancer and then she fell in love with the guy and then she died or he died or something. I don't know. And there was a lot of school movies. Like the kind of movie where there's a horrible class, they're all part of gangs and stuff. And then a teacher comes in or a principal comes in and reforms the whole school and it becomes an amazing school, or like a team, a basketball team or something, and they all get scholarships. Yeah, and then, so yeah, I was valedictorian by the end of the year, and I wrote a speech, and it was so embarrassing because no one could hear me because the microphone was so bad. So I was just standing there talking to myself for like 5 minutes. But I got a lot of awards, which was also embarrassing because, I don't know, I don't want to be that person that's like so annoying. Like, wow, she won again, or whatever. So moving on to high school, I really didn't want to go to the high school that I ended up going to, because I heard like that's where the stupid kids go. I didn't mean to say stupid. But yeah, it was called Dirty Delta. That was the school's name. Because it was super old, filled with asbestos, like bad programs. And I don't know. So I was like crying, like, please don't make me go there. And the teachers all told, like the 8th grade teacher, he told all of us we have to go to Delta because that's the only place within our catchment or whatever. Except he slid secretly a paper to me that was like, go to this other school for like super smart kids. And then, I mean, I didn't go. But it was still nice to have that option. So I ended up going to Delta, Dirty Delta, with my elementary school friends. Oh yeah, and in Canada, I don't know where people watching are from, but it's just elementary school and then high school. There's no middle school unless it's some weird thing in other provinces, but I don't know. So, went into high school. Oh my gosh, I forgot to talk about Uno, like the card game. Every recess during elementary school, in 8th grade and 7th grade, we'd play Uno. Sorry, I got the hiccups. We'd play Uno, and then we continued that. It was not just me and like one other person. It was like a huge group of us that would play Uno. And in high school, we did this too. At lunch, we'd play Uno, and then the kids made fun of us for it. Like, what are you making fun of us for? You're so lame to like make fun of 9th graders, like the freshmen, for playing Uno, like having fun. Like, what kind of life do you have to get enjoyment out of that? We just thought it was funny though that they made fun of us. Yeah. 9th and 10th grade were pretty similar, nothing different. I do remember being hugely depressed in, I think it was late 9th grade. I don't know why, but I felt like I wasn't even alive. Like I was just like walking and talking, but it wasn't me. I don't know. It was not a good time. And then my parents moved us again. So 11th and 12th grade, I went to a different school. That gave me a very hard time. Because no one really wanted to talk to me, but also I was really quiet, and I'm still really quiet. I just like listening. But yeah, so 11th grade I had like no friends, to the point I'd be in the bathroom like crying my eyes out and be like, I'm so lonely. And then 2 girls found me and they were like, hey dude, like go to the counselor's office, we'll walk you there. So that was very nice of them. So I went to talk to the counselor and they were like, hey, you should like talk to like a therapist because you seem really messed up. And I was like, no, please, my parents will never let me. And then she called my parents, of course, and was like, hey, your daughter's been crying because she's depressed. And then my parents were like, don't be depressed. And I was like, wow, you cured me. Yeah. So they did end up taking me to the counselor, but they always made fun of me for it, like calling it the crazy doctor, whatever. Like, oh, did you finish your visit with the crazy doctor? Stop talking to the crazy doctor. Like, they just hated me for it. Like, they hate me for a lot of random things, but anyways. So in 12th grade, I ended up actually having some friends. Like, I don't know how it happened. It was just like a slow progression and people were talking to me. But yeah. Oh, and I won the photography award when I was graduating, so that made me happy. It was like a $300 like check, and that was really cool because like with that you could buy a camera, so it's really nice that they give money with that. But what I ended up buying was a PlayStation. No, not PSP. I don't know what it stands for. PlayStation Portable. And Tag Force. Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force, of course. So, graduating. Okay, so when I was applying to universities in 12th grade, I really wanted to leave my parents. As you can, surmise why. They weren't very supportive of anything I did or do. But, and wait. So, my aunt was like, hey, you should come to Vancouver. Like, my aunt Cindas was like, you should come to Vancouver. There's a great university here. I was like, oh, really? But I didn't give it much thought. But then, like, later on, when things got more serious, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should apply. So I applied to McMaster and a bunch of other Ontario schools, and finally UBC. And I don't know if anyone else had to do this. I don't think they did, which is kind of weird. But I had to do like a video interview kind of thing. And I was like, am I don't know. It almost made me not want to apply. Like, I was very close to not applying because of that interview. But I did go through with it, and I got rejected. And now you may be wondering, well, how did you go to UBC if you got rejected? Well, they rejected me because they said I didn't hand in my papers, like my school documents. So they're like, we can't accept you, even though I've been calling them for like weeks, like, hey, it says you guys didn't get my papers, what's going on? Like, I'd call them every day and ask, and then they were like, I don't know. Not very helpful. But I ended up like showing the proof that I handed them in, and they were like, okay, fine, you're in. So they accepted me in the end. So that was cool. I felt really proud of myself that I actually got accepted and I moved away from my hometown. I didn't know what was coming though, but I still think it's a really good achievement. Like, I'm really proud of myself that I moved away from a toxic situation. So, the only reason my parents let me go to Vancouver was because my grandparents lived in Surrey, which is kind of close to Vancouver. It's like a 2-hour bus ride from where they live to UBC, my school. And they were like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you're going to be busing and you're going to be so tired. And I was like, I don't care. My grandma loved me, unlike you guys. Like, you guys hate me. So I was like really happy to move away with my grandma and grandpa. But in first year, in the end of first semester, they ended up hating me so much that they kicked me out in the middle of the night. And I had my suitcase, and it was very sad. I was like bawling, crying. They hated me because I would go to the mall and play Yu-Gi-Oh! And they're like, only boys play Yu-Gi-Oh! And you should be studying. And they're like, you can't be talking to boys. Boys are dangerous. I'm gonna rip up your Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. And then my aunt who lived with me, Zena, was horrible. She made fun of me and called me ugly a lot and lazy. And would like yell at me for literally anything. Like, if I was taking a nap, she'd get angry at me for being lazy. If I was cooking, she'd scream at me because the smell of the eggs or whatever. She had a lot of issues, and I had to sleep in the same bed as her. We shared a room. And my grandma hated me. She always thought I was talking bad about her when I wasn't. It's just because she didn't understand English, so she always thought I was talking about her, which is very selfish. She was very, very mean to me, but she pretended to be like an angel, and she still does. She still sends things that are knitted for me to my parents. She's like, oh, I made her a scarf, like, please give it to her. It's like, yeah, right, I'm not wearing your scarf, dude. You're literally Satan in disguise. So anyways, when they kicked me out, I was dating a boy, a grown man. I was dating a grown man at the time. I was 18. He was like 25. It was a horrible situation. And we were only dating for 2 weeks until I called him and I was like, oh, my grandparents kicked me out. Can I come live with you? And he was like, okay. So I went to live with him, he ended up being a really, really, really horrible guy who would yell at me for the simplest things and would neglect me. It's almost like he hated me but didn't feel like breaking up with me. So he was very horrible and not a good first experience. Like, for example, when I would go back to Ontario for the summers, he would forget to call me for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, or even text me. He'd forget to text me for 2 weeks. Not even ask how I'm doing, not say good morning, nothing. And of course, he was a League of Legends player. He would always be playing. I'd try to get him to stop. I remember crying and begging him. I was on the floor, legitimately on the floor, begging him at his knees, telling him, please come take a walk with me or just talk to me for 5 minutes. I just want to talk to you. And he would straight up say, no, I don't want to. Like, what? You don't even have 5 minutes for your girlfriend? And I had to make his bed every morning. Like, bro was literally a baby, like, on the inside, but he was a grown man on the outside. Like, I was more mature than him, and I don't know. And right now, he's like 30 and like jobless and living in his parents' basement. So that's really embarrassing for him. And I'm glad, and I hope he suffers for what he did to me. There's a lot more, but I don't think I'm allowed to say. But he was really horrible. He made me cry so much I broke up with him. And then I called my aunt crying one night as I was still living at his place, even though we were broken up. And I called my aunt, Fedwa is her name. Different from the other aunts. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I hate this guy. He hates me. Like, I don't want to live here. And then this was all so I dated him in first year until second year. And then in the middle of second year, this is when this happened, where I called her and we were broken up. So I called her and she was like, okay, you can come live with me. So I was like so excited, and I packed my things and I went to go live with her. And at first she was super sweet to me, just like how my grandparents were. But then I realized she was very manipulative and abusive and coercive. She was really horrible. She made fun of me and was like, you cry so much, that's why you don't have any friends. You're never gonna have any friends. This is why no boys like you. You're ugly. You should go to the gym. She got mad at me for not greeting guests multiple times. Like, she wanted me to skip out on homework just to be home and greet people. And also she was like, you don't have to wash the dishes or do anything, but then go to get mad at me for not washing the dishes. Like, there was a lot of unspoken hatred. She really hated me until eventually when I came back from a trip in I think it was second or third year, but I was coming back from a trip and I had my suitcase and I came in. It was like midnight. I closed the door very quietly because I knew she was sleeping, and then I woke up to a note on the door that said, shut the door quietly, in all caps. It was like a note printed out, typed, posted on the wall or on the door. And then I texted her like, hey, if you hate me that much, like, I don't have to live with you. Like, give me time and I can find a place. And then she's like, good, I'm glad. You're horrible. You're never gonna be happy with how you are. You're a horrible person. You have a big mouth. You're ungrateful. That's what she said to me. So, and I'm a very, like, passive, like, kid. I don't know where she was coming from with all that. Like, I never did anything to her, but she hated me. and would make me cry a lot. So she said move out like right now and gave me 2 days to find a place to live, which sounds impossible, but I did do it. I found a place, very scuffed place. It was 8 of us living there with 1 bathroom. It's called the Raven House. I was really scared to be living there at first because they were like, oh yeah, we'd have parties and do weed and stuff. And I was a really good kid. I'm like, oh God, parties, weed. But as I was living there, it actually became the best years of my life. Like 3rd year, school was not bad, and the people in that house became like family to me. And what I learned over the years of horrible family experiences is that strangers can be a lot nicer than family. So those years meant a lot to me. They were my first friends ever in university, and that was in 3rd year. And then in 4th year, actually, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks after I moved into the Raven House that the pandemic hit. So I'm so glad I wasn't stuck in the house with my aunt, and instead I was stuck in a house with all my best friends. It was really good memories. We'd party, we'd drink. We didn't just do that, but we'd play games together, like board games, and talk to each other and confide in each other, and cook together. And it was fun because like the power would go out because we're using too much electricity because there's 8 of us in a small house. But we all went through it together, so it wasn't bad, even though the living situation was horrible. Like 1 bathroom and no heating, no air conditioner, super tiny rooms. You could hear anything in anyone's room, but it was nice to be together. And I learned that strangers are a lot nicer than family. So I had to eventually move out of Raven House to go back to Ontario for the summer. And then when I moved back in 4th year, there was no space in Raven House, so I had to live somewhere else. So I found a place, and there's nothing special about that place. I didn't really have friends and my roommates. And I went through school. I changed my major to English. It was a pretty good year. Nothing special though. I was drawing a lot. And now I'm in 5th year. Hopefully my last year if I get into the classes I need for next term. It was a long journey, and a lot of that stuff shouldn't have happened to me. And it makes me really sad for myself, my past self. Like, I'm so sorry you went through that. But I'm glad that, some of the outcomes of that were, I learned a lot. I got my boyfriend from all that. I moved away from my family, from Ontario, which made me know that I can be independent. I built a community around myself. It's hard to build something from nothing, but I did it. Even though it took 5 years, I'm happy now. School is really tough though. I have a hard time with essays. I like tests a lot though. I have an essay, as I said in the past 2 videos, that I still haven't done, but I'm working on it. Well, mentally I'm working on it, not physically, not in reality. But yeah. Let me know if there's any other topics you guys want me to talk about. Now you know my school backstory. The most tragic part was honestly university, unfortunately. I thought it would be so great to move away, but it was just really, really hard. But I did get that independence and freedom that I wanted. Well, guys, I guess thanks for watching, and thanks so much for your comments. When you do leave them, it makes me really happy. I said this last time, but yeah, thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed the drawing too. I like this one actually. Okay, well, I'll stop talking for now. The video's almost done. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you